Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of The Walking Dead. And yes, this is the moment that a lot of people have been talking about. Was this moment going to happen between Jesse and Rick? Were they going to become, I don't know, the new couple on The Walking Dead? I don't know about you guys, but I am just not feeling this pairing. First of all, I don't believe that they've earned this moment at all. This is like the most we've ever heard Jesse talk in an episode. And I just don't think they have any chemistry together. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just of the mind frame. Let the storyline just be done with. Play it out. Sure, get some, I don't know, kisses out of this and then move on, because it is just not working for me. First of all, you killed her husband. He killed your husband. You killed her husband. Your kid does not like him. And that whole scene on when they were doing the lookout and her son went to tell Rick that Carl was going to sneak off to go see Enid. I was not even sure he was being 100% honest with Rick in that moment. It almost felt very, sinister, almost like he was trying to set him up for something. Or I don't know. Maybe he's going to try to, I don't know what he's going to try to do. Maybe try to steal, he can't steal Carl from his dad, but I don't know what his underhand moment is in this in that scene. But there was something playing there. And even earlier at the very beginning of the episode, when Rick is sort of giving the news to everybody there that yes, the walkers have arrived, at least half of them are there. And you see this shot of Carl standing there, and the kid has his hand on the blade. So there's something going on there. He's jealous that Carl and Enid have a friendship, and Rick killed his dad. So I have a feeling this boy has some master plan in play, and Rick's going to probably see the sad ending of that somehow. Yeah, so I'm not really going to talk too much about the Jesse and Rick moment, just because it doesn't work for me. I know that they get together in the comics, and that's fine and everything, but I don't know, it's just not really playing out for me. The scene that I really do want to talk about, and the pairing that I really enjoyed in this episode, was obviously Maggie and Aaron. Now, we heard at the very, very top of the episode, Michonne was telling Maggie that, that her and Glenn were separated, that Glenn said that he would send a signal to let them know that he was okay, and it never came. So, we sort of hear like this faint talking, and then you see that Michonne is talking to her, so you just know she's getting the news. And then Maggie starts packing up stuff to head out to go see if Glenn is alive. And Aaron sees this, so he goes and he's like, look, I'm not going to let you go alone. I can't. So we now know that there is an underground tunnel underneath Alexandria, and obviously on the other side of that tunnel are a whole lot of zombies, but at least we know that there is another emergency way out if those zombies ever clear the space, which is some good intel to have. Now, I thought it was a great scene because obviously earlier on in the episode, Aaron tells everybody that it is his fault that the wolves showed up at their location, because earlier, in last season's episode, the wolves got a hold of his knapsack. They found the pictures. They tracked down the Alexandria location, and that is why they all got there. It had nothing to do with Rick's arrival. So, he fully steps up and takes the blame for that. And then later he basically says to Maggie, look, I can't let you go. I have to go with you if you're going to leave, and I can help you. So they go in the underground. There is some really disgusting zombies in the underground that Maggie and Aaron get in contact with. And then Aaron pretty much saves Maggie's life. And then right as they get to the fence, the gate, we can see the horde of zombies sort of walking along the path. And Aaron's still like, okay, look, I can go ahead. You stay back. And then this is the moment where Maggie yells at him and she says, no, enough. Like, it's done. We're done. And, she sort of has this moment where she's like, I can't go out there. He would have sent a signal if he was okay. And she doesn't get to know the closure. She doesn't get to have that moment. And that is pretty much how this zombie apocalypse works. How many people in 2 episodes ago died and they didn't get to have closure with their loved ones? And it's that moment where it's just like everybody else's death. Like, you don't get to have that closure. You don't get to know exactly what happened. You don't get to know if he's okay, if you're going to have to sit up at night waiting for him to come home. So that was just a really, really hard scene to watch, but a really powerful one. Because Maggie and Glenn have been through a lot, and she said she has a picture of him and she would throw it away because she didn't want to stare at it. And it was just like heartbreaking. And now we finally hear from her lips that she's pregnant. And, what's going to happen now, right? She's going to have to raise this child on her own. And earlier on in the episode, we see people writing down the names of people who have died. And they write Nicholas's name and Glenn's name. And it's sort of like that gut punch. You're like, oh, God. But we still really don't know. We haven't had a final answer to that. I mean, we can all assume Glenn has not sent up a flare. He has not sent up any kind of symbol that he is alive. So, your reasoning would be that he is dead. And I'm really wanting the show to go in that direction just because I think, like I said before, it would be a bit of a cop-out if they didn't kill him off. We don't really hear from too many other people in this episode, but, we get the sense that they're dealing with what it is at hand, that there are still a few walkers in the compound, and Jesse kills one of them, and then Diana kills the other, but she's like stabbing it in the chest, and it's like, get the head, these people. And that scene with her son in the kitchen where he basically tells everybody, don't take food from the pantry, because if we all just try to grab it, everything that's out there, we're not going to survive. And then he goes and takes the booze, he goes and takes the crackers. I'm like, you're terrible. Yes, he did a good deed. He saved a lot of people by stopping the truck, but still, he's kind of going off on his own little tangent right now. But when he yells at his mom and he's like, you're to blame for this, and I'm kind of like, he's right, because you guys didn't train anybody. You guys thought you had these walls that would protect you from what is really out there, and now you guys are all just useless. And yeah, the son really gave it to her, so I kind of like that scene. And then we had some stuff going on with Tara, and she got, I guess, a new girl. Wasn't really interested in that. I thought the scene with Jesse and her kid in the house with the cookies was interesting because he's terrified to come downstairs. And I kind of like that because it's like, yeah, a whole lot is going on. And I think that's the difference between Carl and him in this moment, where Carl was forced to be out there, outside, not in behind closed doors. He had to live the life. And her son, Sam, I believe his name is just, so terrified he can hide in his bedroom and not come out. That's just the difference between what Carl dealt with in the beginning of the zombie apocalypse and what this child is dealing with. Very interesting. So at the end, after Diana kills, Rick ultimately kills the zombie, she says, I don't want to be here. And Rick says, they need you to be their leader. And she's just like, no, they need you. And then, he helps her clean up the stuff that she dropped on the floor, and then she kind of walks away in like this haze. And then later on, she's standing in front of the gate, and I'm like, oh God, what are you going to do? And then she like bangs up against the gate and like basically telling him to get out of there. Like, this is my home. And I think it's sort of her way of trying to reclaim back what, this place meant to her originally and what it was supposed to be all about. And hopefully it's about her sort of getting back her strength, because she's been pretty, punched to the gut a few times in these last few episodes. So yeah, again, we ended off the episode with Rick talking to Jesse and, him explaining why he didn't want to bury the dead that were in the Alexandria. And he said basically he's waiting for Glenn. He's waiting for Sasha. He's waiting for Abraham to come back. And he's worried now because it's been too long that they've been out there and he doesn't know what to make of this. Oh, and Daryl as well. So, I think there's a part of him that's, upset, and he doesn't know how to handle it. And that was why he said, no, we're not burying these people inside, because he doesn't want to give up hope. And she says, well, there's got to be more than this out there. And then he kind of looks at her like, no, this is it, honey. And that's when he steps in and he gives her the kiss. Whatever. Anyways, okay, guys, that's it for me. The episode was good. It had moments in it that I liked. But then there was a lot of moments where I was just like, okay, move on. But yeah, that's about it for me, guys. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will definitely see you next week. Bye.